Minotaur, the monster in the labyrinth. The story of the Minotaur is one of the most fascinating and dark tales in Greek mythology, filled with elements that explore human nature, tragedy, and the quest for identity. The Minotaur, a mythical creature with a human body and a bull's head, is born from a series of tragic events involving gods, royalty, and fate. This story is not just about a monster, but about the human condition, the fear of the unknown, and the weight of curses. Chapter 1: The Origin. The origin of the Minotaur begins with Queen Pasiphae, the wife of King Minos of Crete. Minos, upon ascending to the throne, wanted to demonstrate his power to Poseidon, the god of the sea. To this end, he asked Poseidon to send a majestic bull as a sign of his royalty. The god obliged, sending a splendid bull, but Minos, instead of sacrificing the animal to Poseidon, chose to keep it for himself, sending an inferior bull in its place. Offended, Poseidon cast a curse on Pasiphae, causing her to fall in love with the bull that should have been sacrificed. Consumed by this impossibly forbidden love, Pasiphae turned to the ingenious Daedalus, a renowned inventor and architect, to create a machine that would allow her to unite with the bull. He constructed a hollow wooden cow in which Pasiphae could hide. Thus, she met the bull, and from this union was born the Minotaur, a creature that represents the culmination of desire, betrayal, and tragedy. However, the monstrous appearance of the Minotaur is not merely a physical matter, it reflects the curse and the pain surrounding his existence. Chapter 2: The Labyrinth of Daedalus. Upon realizing the monstrosity of his son, Minos decides to imprison him in a labyrinth, an intricate maze constructed by Daedalus. The labyrinth is a metaphor for the Minotaur's mental state, a prison where he lives in solitude, isolated from the outside world and surrounded by shadows. As the Minotaur is fed with young Athenians sent as sacrifices, his condition becomes a symbol of terror and misery, representing human cruelty and the inability to accept what is different. Chapter 3: The Minotaur's Life in Solitude. Within the labyrinth, the Minotaur is not just an insatiable beast, he is a reflection of pain and rejection. With each sacrifice, he finds himself more isolated and tormented by his nature. The labyrinth, in turn, is a space that represents the Minotaur's internal struggle, an emotional maze where he seeks to understand his own identity and place in the world. This solitude is palpable, and the Minotaur becomes a living tragedy, a being who, despite his monstrous form, carries within him a spark of humanity. Chapter 4: The Arrival of Theseus. The story intensifies with the arrival of Theseus, the Athenian hero who offers to confront the Minotaur and free his people from the terror he represents. Theseus is courageous and determined, and his decision to enter the labyrinth is not merely an act of bravery, it is a journey of self-discovery. He finds himself in a moral dilemma, facing the fear of fighting against a creature that is so despised and feared. Chapter 5: Ariadne and Hope. Ariadne, Minos' daughter, also plays a crucial role in this narrative. She falls in love with Theseus and decides to help him defeat the Minotaur. With her intelligence, she provides Theseus with a ball of thread, which he will use to find his way back after defeating the beast. Ariadne symbolizes hope and sacrifice, and her choice to aid Theseus shows that compassion and courage can arise even amidst tragedy. Chapter 6: The Confrontation in the Labyrinth. When Theseus finally confronts the Minotaur, the ensuing battle is more than a physical fight, it is a confrontation between the hero and the manifestation of society's fear and disdain for the unknown. The Minotaur, even in his ferocity, is a victim of fate, a personification of the pain and internal struggle many face. As Theseus defeats him, the tragedy becomes even more apparent. The Minotaur is not merely a monster that has been slain, he symbolizes everything that has been lost, everything that has not been understood. Chapter 7: The Victory and Its Consequences. The story's conclusion brings a moral dilemma. Theseus emerges victorious, but what has he truly gained? The victory over the Minotaur is also a victory over the unknown, but at what cost? The labyrinth remains, and the question of acceptance and compassion lingers in the air. The Minotaur, even in his death, leaves a profound lesson about embracing difference and understanding the complexities of life. Chapter 8: The Legacy of the Minotaur. The story of the Minotaur is a rich tapestry of emotions, where horror, tragedy, and the search for identity intertwine. It invites us to reflect on our own monstrosities and the labyrinths we inhabit, exploring the relationship between fear and compassion. In the end, the story leaves us with the reminder that even amid terror, there is always a thread of hope and the possibility of redemption if we are only willing to look beyond the surface. The Minotaur, more than a mythical creature, becomes an eternal symbol of the struggle for acceptance and understanding in a world often blinded by fear. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. If there's anything you'd like to discuss or suggest any ideas, please leave in the comments section. Thank you very much, and until next time.